Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network, and today is Monday, December 6, 2021. I hope you had a good day. I wanted to jump on, I just wanted to say hi and let you know that Linda G and I were not able to do our video yesterday with Corey from Bridge Cape Ann because I had internet issues because my phone it was old and it quit. So it was like an enormous task to get Church of Spirituality up, which happened around midnight Eastern time. So that's the drama. That's my tech drama story for today. We persist. We just keep plowing through. That's what we do. And then we get new phones and we have to like figure out everything out again. And it's craziness. But, you gotta take the good with the bad, right? If it weren't for technology, we wouldn't even be together. I don't see how. Unless we came to each other's houses. But we can't do that during COVID, right? Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the day, and thank you to all of you who left really nice comments, very sweet, much appreciated, and I want to just apologize if you were waiting for the Linda G and me and Corey show, but it's been rescheduled to December 16th, which is a Thursday, and so look for that on Thursday, and I'll brief you, I'll update you about that. So Corey and I did a video, go to Bridge Cape Ann to see the video that we did today about the news, and it was fun. It's always fun. It's about half an hour. We squeezed it into our busy schedules, and I covered some of the news stories there. And I think on the 16th, Linda G and I are going to do predictions for 2022. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I mean, that it's going to be 2022. What do we want to look at today? I have heard, let's start with 45. We'll call him 45 today. And Devin Nunes quitting whatever position he was in. I don't even know. It's hard to keep track of all these people. Devin Nunes is leaving the position he's in, whatever the heck it is. And he's going to head up 45's new media company. The big eye roll. Didn't Trump just start a media company called Truth? You know that line from A Few Good Men? You can't handle the truth. Well, we couldn't have handled his truth, that's for sure, because he doesn't know the meaning of the word truth. It's amazing to me, it has been since the start, that people believe him. I think it's incredibly sad that so many people believe him. Anyway, so Devin Nunes, who to me is of the Mueller report fame, and we impeached the president, and he was up there defending all the crimes, saying they didn't happen when we know full well that they did. I mean, just ask a psychic. Ask Bob Mueller. By the way, the Mueller report stuff is not over. It's not over till it's really over. I'm going to look at Devin Nunes and whether this new Trump media organization, don't ask me where the money's coming from. I don't know. Probably a lot of grifting. How's that going to go? Before I ask that, I want to ask if Devin Nunes is in legal trouble, because I get this sense that he is. And let's see, is he in legal trouble? Oh, yeah, remember, I'm not sure if I said it here, but I see a lot of distractions. The criminal Republicans are going to create a lot of distractions so that you don't look at their criminality. So we have to be on the ball, we have to be on top of things, we have to be noticing, we have to be remembering what happened in the past, and then putting the pressure on as citizens, in whichever way we see fit, to shut these people down. Shut them up. Just shut up with the lies. Remember the story of George Washington who cut down the cherry tree and he was like, I cannot tell a lie, Mother. I did cut down that cherry tree. Well, it's just a story. Who knows? But I liked it when the truth was in style. I liked it when we didn't have a media outlet like Fox News that just spews vitriol, venomous stuff. And the guys are just telling me right now, don't worry, because their impact will be lessening, Fox News. And so this new media organization, 45's new media organization that Devin Nunes, what a beaut, is supposed to head up. How's that going to go? What are they going to be doing? Are they going to be telling the truth? Doubt it. It will be challenging. This is what I see. They're going to get in fights. Trump and Devin Nunes they're going to get in fights. And I just don't think they're going to get along. That's what I think. I don't think Devin Nunes even likes him. There's a woman who's a criminal who's also involved. I don't know who that is. Remains to be seen. Boy, this camera's a lot different. It's interesting. It's bigger. Technology. I'm telling you. I took the quantum leap from 8 to 13 on the iPhone. The Eight of Wands. Well, this is interesting because I'm asking how it's going to go, and I'm seeing Nunes and Trump getting into fights over this media organization. I'm seeing them jumping through hoops, or rigging the system, or using it as a tax write-off or something crazy like that. That's what I see. And actually, it's what I was just saying. Trying to get out of something. Devin Nunes is trying to get out of something by going into this organization, but it's not like he can say that he can't be indicted for anything because he's running an organization. That doesn't count. The only way you can't, like go to a hearing or a deposition or something like that, really, to get out of it, that's not criminal, is if you're legitimately ill. And I haven't even heard any news that Nunes is going to be indicted, but I am picking up on that. I was busy today. I didn't check the news much. Okay, is he going to be indicted? Is Devin Nunes going to be indicted? I feel Russia all over him. We'll get to the Russia thing too in a bit. Is he going to be indicted? Yes, Devin Nunes is going to be indicted. Well, isn't that interesting? For what? Is it for January 6th? I don't know. He was kind of behind the scenes in terms of we haven't heard much about him. And is it about January 6th? No, it's about something else. Is it about a Russia connection? It's about a Russia connection. See, the Mueller report stuff isn't over yet. I have a friend that's, oh my goodness, he just got a high position in our town, so in our little city here. So I can't divulge who it is, but anyway, he rewrote the Rainbow Connection. If he ever watches this, he'll know what I'm talking about. He rewrote that Kermit the Frog song, and I have the lyrics because we were recording it. It's called The Russian Connection. Pretty funny. On that note, I want to mention to you guys that I am going to start sometime in the near future, probably in the new year, an online YouTube group called Save the Songwriter, because I want to get more of us writing songs, just to write them. I know we can't make money on songs anymore. It's kind of an impossible thing. People just take them. All right, so Nunes and the Russian connection. Is that... I just went down a rabbit hole. Let's keep going. The Russian connection. What's going on with that? Is that going to be... is it the statute of limitations going to run out on that, or is he actually going to be held accountable? Oh, he did some bad stuff. Remember, a whole group of them went to Russia. What the heck did they do? Jim Jordan, McCarthy, Nunes, Those are the three off the top of my head that are, I don't know factually, but I feel like they went to Russia. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to find out more information about that. I feel like Nunes is in trouble about the Russia thing. And this is him shielding himself. It's a smoke screen. What he's doing with 45 in this organization is a smoke screen. I'm telling you, it's what they do. They want to divert your attention elsewhere so that you don't look at the crime. 45 did that for 5 years. Well, he's still doing it. He was a master at that. The Hierophant, he's going to be brought to task. Nunes is going to be brought to task. We'll see what unfolds about that, but definitely I spent longer on that than I planned to, but it just struck me when I saw that in the news. Devin Nunes, we hadn't heard of him in a while, of anything about him in a while. Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene is still going at it. She's like diarrhea of the mouth. I'm sorry, I just, how else can I put it? Blah, it just comes out. I know, it's disgusting, but I heard that term before and sometimes it fits. What's going on with her? She's glorifying violence. We really do need to pray about the glorification of violence. I mean, we can get into it a little bit. I don't want to keep you too long, but we can get into it a little bit about, because Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, it's not very feminine. You know, let's just shoot people up. I mean, come on. What's going to happen to her? And Madison Cawthorn is channeling evil. I just had to say it. Madison Cawthorn is channeling evil. Just like Paul Gosar. Madison Cawthorn has a demonic something coming through. I think he always has. The guides just gave me the word genocide, and I was just thinking about his past life when I said that. I think Madison Cawthorn, because I read past lives and I get flashes, I'm getting that he was involved in a genocide in a past life. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, but when I read a past life, you can't tell me that I'm leading people astray, because who knows? But that's the energy that I get from Madison Cawthorn. And I already told you Marjorie Taylor Greene in my last video. I see her in a past lifetime in medieval times just saying, "Off to the dungeon of torture," and just enjoying it. I don't think these souls have learned anything. I'm telling you. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, I have the Tower card. There's a major disruption for her. And I think it comes from the females in Congress. There's a big disruption coming for her. And I've seen this before. I've read about this before, and I'm still getting it. The females in Congress, you know, I listened to a little bit of Linda G and Andre today, who's a wonderful astrologer. And maybe I'll meet him. Maybe we'll do a show or something. Talking about Eros, E-R-O-S, and that's representative in astrology of the goddess, you know, the goddess that fights, the goddess energy, the feminine energy that fights, like Athena, like who is the goddess of war, kind of like that energy. So this is the rising of the feminine, and it's going to be, you know, bumping up against the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the Lauren Boeberts. Like this is not what female power is. This is idiocy. This is cowardice, you know, and don't be fooled by them, because speaking of masking what's really going on, they're intimidated by intelligent women. So because they're intimidated by intelligent, accomplished women that are well liked, they don't like that. So their only recourse is to attack viciously. That's all they've got in their bag of tricks. And unfortunately, their followers are all violent. You know, I was thinking today about America being the only country that I can think of, probably the only country, that just touts, it's like, you know, the Second Amendment, we're great because we have the Second Amendment, because we have guns, you know, and it's like, what a sickness that is. And these people in positions of leadership that aren't being leaders, that are just being, I don't know if there's a word for them. I could think of a lot of bad words, but I don't think they'll keep me on YouTube if I say a bad word. I'm not really sure about that. Anyway, so I was just saying the world is looking at us like, what the? I mean, the civilized countries. Kevin McCarthy is suffering because he's doing nothing. He's suffering in terms of his virility, his sense of power, his sense of being in charge. He's really actually suffering from MTG and Bobiert, from what they're doing. He's actually, he's weakening. His lack of saying anything. Well, I feel like Kevin McCarthy has said something to those two awful, heinous women behind the scenes, but it hasn't done any good. I mean, it just turns into like a middle school shouting match. And no offense to middle schoolers, but you know how teenagers can be. I feel like this is somebody who is going to put a stop to it, but I'm not really sure who that is. I feel like a Republican who's gonna, like Kevin McCarthy's dumb and he can't figure out what to do, but I feel this is like a Republican who figures out what to do to quiet them down and to stop hurting the party so much. I don't know who that is. Who could that be? Does anybody know who that could be? I just feel like they kind of push Kevin McCarthy aside and say something to these awful women. Is it a Democrat? No, I feel like it's a Republican. Is it Mitt Romney? Gosh, they wouldn't listen to him. Is this a Republican who's going to speak up because Kevin McCarthy will not speak up? Yes. Wow, that's like a mystery. Who can speak louder than, well, Kevin McCarthy is the speaker, the minority speaker. Boy, I guess he proved that when he stayed 8 hours on the House floor overnight trying to protest helping the American people. Let's just tell it like it is, shall we? Jeez. It's a good thing we have late night. I don't really have a TV, so I don't really watch late night, but I do catch the clips the next day. And the reason I'm saying that is because you have to find some semblance of humor and all this insanity just to keep you going. You know, even Shakespeare knew that. He always inserted some comic relief in all of his tragedies. It was always in there. Go back and read it. Okay, so we need that. We need to laugh. We need to keep our energies going. And that's one good way to do it. That's going to drive me crazy. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out what Republican is actually going to say something in lieu of Kevin McCarthy not saying anything to these awful women who they don't even deserve to be called feminine, because they're not. Anyway. Will the people... I wrote down these questions and it's chicken scratch. Will the people who think the election was stolen change their minds? That's a good question that I asked because I just made up some questions. Will the people who thought the election was stolen change their minds? Let's look about 6 months into the future. Will they change their minds? In general. Of course, not everyone is going to. You know, what I've been thinking about a lot, what I've been reflecting on a lot lately is after the election, when there were people standing outside, like I don't know, a pole or something, and the doors were locked, and they were standing outside the doors and they were screaming, "Stop the count!" Stop. I know, it's not funny in it. I don't know what kind of thinking that is. Stop the count. So the people that believe that 45 won, Are they going to change their minds? We'll say within a 4-month time span, are we going to start to see them changing their minds? For instance, I know that there was a podcast, I need to look it up. I heard about it on MSNBC, of a girl who used to be in QAnon. It is brainwashing. It is a cult. And the internet can do that to people. Be forewarned. You probably know this, but it's really true. Don't let them track you. So, will they change their minds? Well, when they find out what happened on January 6th, they will start to change their minds. In general. They will start to realize, gosh, I'm just seeing it all laid out on the table in terms of what 45 really did. These cards look a little cloudy when I put them. I don't know if this camera's better, but anyway. I feel like once the justice system really works, they will change their minds. And they'll start to see from a different, higher perspective. I'm not being Pollyanna about it, I promise. This is really just kind of like the way that the energy's going. As 45 loses more power, as more comes out. You know, it's hard to avoid the news, even if you're watching Fox News. It's just, if you walk by a newspaper, you know, the news is there. And the news is going to get to them eventually. The people that really think the election was stolen with zero evidence. The Two of Wands, it's going to be a little bit of a balancing act. Boy, they really are cloudy, huh? It's going to, but that's the Two of Wands. It's going to be kind of a balancing act before they sort of like a kind of like a scales, and then eventually the truth will hold more weight. So yes, I do see, and I'm getting like it within a 4-month time period, which makes a lot of sense, because I really feel like within that time frame, about 4 months, we're going to see public hearings of the January 6th Commission. That's going to be good TV. They did that, pretty sure they did that with Nixon. I'm pretty sure they had public hearings on TV. I don't know. I have to look that up. I've dropped my questions on the floor. Hang on. Let me grab them. I guess I got frustrated because I couldn't read them. I wrote, are we going to lose? And I don't know what I was going for there because I didn't finish the sentence. Are we going to lose what? Well, I guess, are we going to lose our democracy? I'm going to look at that really quick, and then I'm going to go to the situation with Russia. The guides just said Biden's on it. The guides are also saying that Putin, I know Putin, you know, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I don't think Putin is as confident as he is behaving. Like, I mean, how many countries would go after him if he invades Ukraine? He's outnumbered. And the Russian people do not like him. Thank God we're not under that kind of rule. Let's keep it going. Keep it that way. But I wasn't asking about that. I was asking about, are we going to keep our Democrats being ahead? I'll just put it like that. We're going to keep our democracy and Democrats being in the lead in this crazy race of democracy. We will be so disillusioned by what the Republicans are doing. And, you know, this is the collective. We will have a kind of a group sort of mobilization. And I see a time that we're going to really support Joe Biden. More and more people will support Joe Biden. Once that infrastructure money starts rolling in, the face of this country will change drastically for the good. I know there were white supremacists marching today or yesterday, over the weekend, you know, at the Lincoln Memorial with their white supremacists. You know, they've actually desecrated the American flag So the American flag, has anybody noticed, speaking of the, you know, the incremental destruction of our country, has anybody noticed that the American flag doesn't mean what it used to mean? I wouldn't put an American flag on my car. Well, not that I would put a flag on my car anyway, but I'm just saying. There was a time when it was something to be proud of, so the white supremacists... Can I just say, they all are complaining that they don't have a right to speak, and they don't have a right to not be vaccinated, and they don't have a right to be, I don't know, what are the white supremacists, to be like the supreme whites? You know, it's like all this much ado about nothing, speaking of Shakespeare, all this like, first of all, somebody asked the question, I mentioned this to Corey today, are people going to be sent to jail for not being vaccinated? And I'm like, who said that? Oh, I don't know where people are getting this crazy idea. Anyway, the point being, there's a lot of complaining about things that aren't even happening. Like, how about, you know, who was it? It might have been Don Jr. or something. You know, just going, we can't speak our voice, and we don't have a right to speak out. And they're speaking out. The craziness just continues. It's crazy. It's just... Sorry, I get a little overwhelmed sometimes. Let's look... Anyway, we're not going to lose our democracy, okay? So everybody settle down. As long as we fight for it. As long as we fight for it. The delusion, the delusional perception of these people that are actually saying we can't have a free and fair election. We had a free and fair election. Trump appointed judges couldn't say that the election was stolen because it wasn't. Giuliani got up there and was like, when the judge asked him, well, how do you know this? You know, how do you know that the election was stolen, Mr. Giuliani? Where's the proof? And he said, well, I heard it on Facebook. I don't know. I saw it on Facebook. Giuliani actually said, I don't know. I was kind of busy. You really expect me to bring you evidence? Well, yeah. Well, you know, it's never a dull moment. I guess we can say that. You know, we will never forget Four Seasons landscaping or the hair dye dripping on his face. Shoe polish, maybe? 45 is making no sense. It's getting worse and worse. Pay attention to that. He's making no sense. I really see, I'm going to check, that his mind is going. I mean, I know it was already going, but we wondered if it could really go any further. It's very, very sad, but I think he has dementia. Does Trump have dementia? That's a very clear yes. Fred Trump died. He had dementia. I don't know if dementia actually is a cause of death, but his dad had dementia, like extreme, very bad. It's a horrible disease. Anyway, I feel like he has dementia. I didn't plan to ask this question, but I'm gonna just look. Does he have debilitating dementia, or is it heading in that direction? It would just make sense. He doesn't take care of himself, remember? Oh my gosh, this is my question. Does he have dementia? Take a look at those cards and see what you think. Yeah, things are getting away from him. He can't, it's not computing. And he's very challenged by his state of his brain. And he doesn't know what he's going to do. I mean, I know there's this talk of this media company and all that, but I think that's all, I do think that's all smoke and mirrors too. So asking if he has dementia, if 45 has dementia, I have some very, very hard cards here. And that's the card of a lot of challenge around that. You know, I think we underestimate the gift of our brain. Truly. Because that's all he would be able to go on is his, I mean, he would need an ability to think and make sense. He couldn't run. He's not running for president. Don't even think I'm saying that. But he couldn't be like an important person in politics if his brain isn't working. Because you have to make a little bit of sense anyway. I mean, a little bit. Charlie Baker, the governor of Massachusetts, is not running again. I'm very sad about that. He's a Republican, but he's like a real Republican. That's kind of recent, so I haven't read much about it just yet. But I'll bring you up to date on that. I don't know who's going to run next or even when the election is. I think it's next year. All right, so let's wrap up with Russia threatening Ukraine. Poor Ukraine. You know, what'd they do to hurt anybody? They don't deserve this. Zelensky is the president. I see Zelensky on the phone with Biden quite a lot. Oh, well, that's interesting. Entertainment purposes only. I feel Biden on the phone with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. He's promising arms. He's promising weapons. Oh, well, actually, yeah, duh. Now I'm thinking about it. That makes total sense, right? Because, you know, the whole Ukraine scandal with 45 was that he was withholding arms. Okay, so I feel like there's going to be a weapons buildup in Ukraine, backed by not just the United States, other countries too. So if Putin makes a move, and I mean just even a tiny little skirmish, they're going in. I don't see war. I see him kind of, you know, because that's what they do. That's what these, you know, fascist types do. These dictator types do. They push and they push and they push and they see how far they can get. That is classic fascist move. Let us not forget that that was Donald Trump's playbook when he illegitimately occupied the White House. That was his playbook, and it still is. And it's the playbook of all these horrible people that have committed horrible crimes that are still seated in our government. That was the name of the game. Keep pushing and see how much you can get away with. That's what Vladimir Putin is doing right now. I don't feel that from China. I feel that from Russia right now. And Vlad thinks he has President Xi's support, and I don't feel that that's true. China has too much at stake. Oh, wow, this is interesting. Just what I said. Biden's on the phone with President Zelensky. There's going to be a turn for the better, and the strength of the other countries rallying and going, you know, like slapping Vlad. Now get out of your turf. Stay in your lane, Vlad. Let's ask how much longer Putin has. Does Putin have less than a year left in office? Yes. Want to be more specific? Is this what will take him down? Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Is it because of a skirmish that he kind of, you know, is it because of a skirmish? Yeah, it's because of a skirmish. People are mad. Anyway, I think of course there are more things to talk about, but I don't want to keep you forever. You've probably had enough of me. And I'll be back in a couple days on Wednesday. Unless something really interesting happens, and then I'll jump back on. And look for Corey and I on Bridge Cape Ann on YouTube. And what else do I want to tell you to look for? If you'd like to book a private reading, The email address, my old one still works. It's just easier for me if you send your request to annettedionpsychic@gmail.com. And it's good that we have autospell, because a lot of people don't know how to spell psychic. It's PSYCHIC, annettedionpsychic@gmail.com. If you would like to book a reading, the reading is 1 hour. It's not less than an hour. And that's all I have for you tonight. I hope you have a wonderful couple of days, and I will see you soon. And do something festive, because it's that time of year and it doesn't last long. Namaste. Bye.